Oh, didn't see you there. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you don't subscribe, don't like, and do not share this with your friends, especially if you want to keep catching more fish than them. All jokes aside, we are right on the precipice of springtime fishing, and that means you do not have the time to be missing or losing any big fish due to bad technique or plain old ignorance. I'm going to walk you through 7 key things that will help you hook and land more big fish this fishing season. Some of these are for beginners and some are for more seasoned anglers. Let's get right into it. Okay, number 1, don't fish too heavy of leader. Now this is going to be largely dependent on what you're targeting. Some species of fish couldn't care less if you have beefy leader or not. Some fish, you will not catch a fish all day if your leader's too heavy. The ones that come to mind immediately are redfish. So redfish can be very finicky on the leader you're using. Personally, I've dialed it into 12-pound leader fluorocarbon, and that seems to be the move. I've fished with guys that are fishing 20 that day, and they don't catch near as many fish. You know, I'm talking like I catch 10 fish, they catch 1 or 2 fish. So the right leader, don't fish too heavy, and you may have to experiment a little bit. One of the other factors there is going to be water clarity. So depending on how the water looks, that's going to allow the fish to see better. When it's dirtier water, the redfish kind of fish more on vibration, and you know, it might pop up in front of their face and they can't study it as much, so that's going to help you there. But in very clear water, we will get crystal clear water on the bay I'm on, and as well as the Gulf, and the right species of fish will see that, and they'll see it doesn't look natural, and they'll move away. So be very mindful about where you're laying the line out in front of a fish if you're sight fishing a red, and don't use too heavy of leader. 12-pound, 15-pound. I stay away from 20-pound leader. It's, again, another situation where you might want to fish a heavier leader is if you're fishing a bridge and you get a nice big bull red and he's trying to freight train you into some pilings or something like that, and you have to put more pressure on him. Okay, that's a different story. But as far as high percentage hookups where they're not going to see the line most often, 12 or 15-pound leader. Number 2 is going to be making sure you don't have your knot tag too long. So if you have this little tag right here and it's like 1 inch long or 1.5 inches, sometimes I look at guys' stuff and I can't believe, like, you're fishing with your tag like that? I mean, it doesn't have to be right on the knot. Like if you look at this, that's 4 or 5 millimeters, you know, 1/4 inch. That's going to be just fine, but that's a real beginner mistake where you have like 1 inch of tag and it just ruins your whole presentation. You got to remember, in the natural world, they don't have a lot of perfectly straight lines, and you know, most bait fish they eat don't have stuff sticking out of their face, so make sure your tags are nice and trimmed. All right, number 3. Now we've all been here before. I've done this enough times that it is the first thing I do before I make that first cast. I make sure my drag is set to strike drag. I don't want it locked and I don't want it too loose. Generally, when I'm done fishing, after I clean a reel, I'll back the drag all the way off, just take pressure off the spool. Kind of increases the longevity of your reel and your drag washers and things like that. So make sure when you make that first cast, your drag is set. So you'll see me in videos before I make a first cast. That's what I do right there. And it's also going to depend what you're targeting, what your line is, how much drag you want to set. For redfish in the bay, which is what I do a lot of, I like to keep it just tight enough that when I set that hook, that the drag gives just like a couple, like it might just barely give drag. And then after they go on that first run, because redfish, after you stick them, that's when the fun starts. They go on a crazy run, and that's when you don't want to have too much pressure on the fish, because something like 10-pound braid, it's like angel hair, very fine line. So you want that initial shock to be able to run with that. And the main thing I'm getting to here is have that drag set so when it's too loose and you go to set the hook, there's no pressure there, so you don't get that nice hook set deep into the corner of the jaw that you want. So make sure that drag is set. Number 4, a classic mistake for the noob angler: high sticking. So every charter guide has had that customer that they get the fish right by the boat and they immediately, you know, they start putting the rod up completely vertical. If you're not familiar with what high sticking is, it's when you do just that. You are high sticking. So If you got a fish that fights vertically, again, snapper, grouper, amberjack, something that's gonna fight you straight down from the boat, you wanna be mindful about how much angle you're putting on the rod. If you've got a lot of drag on a fish and you go to high stick him and he goes on a run, well, look at that angle on your rod. It's gonna snap every time. Here's a clip. Connor's on the biggest fish of the day right here so far. You're kidding me, bro. Connor's on the biggest fish of the day right here so far. You're kidding me, bro. Don't be that guy. Okay, so again, this is going to be situation dependent. If you're fighting a fish that likes to fight vertically, be mindful of that. If it's a fish like a redfish, I'm going to keep using that example because I target a lot of redfish. If you're fighting a fish like that, it's generally going to run horizontal on a flat. And in that case, you know, if you have your drag set and there's no structure around, you just chill and enjoy it. Just listen to that sweet sound. Let him go on that first couple runs where he's just smoking it. Enjoy the fact you just hooked a nice fish and just sit back, let him run. And then you can gradually start tightening the drag as he gets to you. But again, on the subject of high sticking, when he goes on that first run, some people's first reaction is get that rod vertical, pull back, pull back. Don't do that. You can even point at the fish a little bit. Now you don't want to go like a tarpon and completely, you know, that's its own topic, but when it goes on that first run, relax. Give that rod a little, you know, downward point, let that line run, let the drag work for you, let the reel do the work, and enjoy it. Mainly, you don't want to high stick when it's a fish that's going to run straight down towards structure. That's when you see a lot of rods break. One other caveat here is depending on gear. So different rods are built for different things. That rod I was holding a moment ago, that's an inshore rod. You really don't want to high stick something like that, especially an ultralight. This right here, this is a jigging rod. It's only 5 foot 8 inches, and it is designed to have what they call a very high parabolic bend. So I'll put in a clip right here. When you're fishing this thing, there's been so many times where I'm amazed it didn't snap. The engineering in a really nice jigging rod is just incredible. It's gonna blow you away how much bend you can put in it to where you almost feel like you're high sticking a fish. And you can, but you just wanna be mindful of that balance of drag and angle of rod.
44 inches of beast mode.
There's been so many times where I have this thing at pretty, almost vertical, not quite, but way higher than I would put an inshore rod because it's designed for that. It's designed to have that absolutely sick bend. So if it's a jigging rod, you can get away with it a little bit more. If it's an inshore rod, be very mindful of high sticking. I'm doing the Lord's work on this next one. This is something that you'll see a lot at piers where people might come into town and they've never fished before and they're pretty clueless, but they're like, hey, I'm in Florida, let's go to the pier and see what we can catch. And this is this one right here. I cringe even getting ready to do it. I have to prepare myself mentally. Guys, this is not how you fish a spinning reel. And we've all seen somebody on the pier doing this number right here. Well, actually you crank it this way, which is just ridiculous. So spinning reels, they go in your hand like so. Depending on the reel, I'll do 2 in front, 2 behind. Some people will fish them, you know, like this. Some people like to fish like that. But make sure the spinning reel is underneath the rod. So right here, that's what you want. That's how you fish a spinning reel. That one is for true beginners. Okay, do not, do not let me catch you fishing a spinning reel like this. All right. Number 6, trying to flip a fish that is too big. So if you're not, again, if you're a complete beginner and you're not familiar with what flipping a fish is, that means when you get it boat side, kayak side, dock side, you just try and lift it out of the water with the rod. So be mindful of your poundage of line. What does your hook look like in it? Do you have light hooks? Do you have really strong hooks? So all that's going to be dependent. Most of the time, and out of respect for the fish, you don't want to slam them on the boat or whatever it may be. You want to be mindful of how you're getting that fish out of the water into the cooler. You don't want to lose a fish that you really want to eat later too, so that's another thing. Just be mindful when you go to flip a fish that he's the right size for your tackle, rod, hooks to handle it. And yeah, I only flip the really small fish. You get into bigger fish, you do not want to flip them. It's also just kind of like an unclassy way to fish. If it's a real little guy and you can, flip him right up to your hand and catch him, that's one thing. But don't flip fish generally. So for number 7, this is more for the experienced angler, just my 2 cents on where I get the most hookups. Don't fish too fast and fish as natural as possible. So once you get the plastic out there, you want to visualize it moving like whatever bait you're trying to imitate moves. So a shrimp, whenever it gets in danger, it's going to kick up 2 or 3 times and then it's going to kind of drift. And it's going to kick away. So redfish, again, example, redfish comes up, gets on your bait, kick away from it. Naturally, a bait fish or a shrimp or something like that is going to try and get away when a predator starts encroaching on it. So be mindful of that. Move your bait as natural as possible with the right timing. So visualize that. Don't just get out there and start haphazardly, fishing fast. You'll catch more fish if you really get in that mindset of what you're trying to imitate. Maybe it's a mullet on a flat and those things are going to kind of skirt away, so you might fish it kind of fast. To dive a little bit more into the redfish topic, sometimes a redfish wants something to be perfectly still and they'll get right up on it and they'll put their nose right on it and it's like they're daring it to move. And sometimes you move it and they spook off. Sometimes you leave it dead still and they eat. Most of the time you want to try to get away from them and trigger that predatory strike. It's that fear of lack. It's going to trigger that thing where like, oh, it's running away from me. I'm used to this. This is what they do typically. So again, food for thought for the more experienced guy. Make sure you're moving in a natural way. I'm also going to start something new in 2025. Every video will have a piece of unsolicited advice. So today's unsolicited advice to have a better life and better experience is get out and touch grass, touch sand, get in the water, get out in nature. You'll be amazed what it'll do for you, what it'll do for your body. So get out there and enjoy the outdoors. If you're always inside on your phone, not working out, get out there and move your body, use it. You don't have to go to the gym, but get out there, sweat, get in the sun, enjoy nature. Nature is just an absolutely incredible thing that each and all of us have access to. So get out there and touch grass, enjoy it. If you've been following the channel for a while, this is my first video of 2025. I've been busy with other things, but we're gonna get on a roll again. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. Make sure you don't subscribe. I do not want this channel to blow up, and don't like it, don't send it to people that need to hear this. You want to be catching more fish than everybody you're fishing with, so keep this one close to chest, and have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you in that next one.